Word up, Culture Clash, baby, we ain't going nowhere. Your boy Thorne LaRoq, the beast, and I'm still chilling here on the couch. And with me right now is your boy POY. If you don't know POY, this is the cat who basically broke the barriers with regards to national relevance and airplay. All of that and then some. First award winner from the city. I'm talking about P to the O to the Y. My man.
Yeah, what up, man?
What's going on?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, my man.
Great.
Looking
Yeah, what's
strong,
up?
my man.
Looking strong.
Yeah.
We always working out, keeping that fitness. You know what I mean? What's up?
Time. I ain't chilling, bro. Bro. Yo, this is that Culture Clash thing. And
Yeah.
right now, my man, I'm not even gonna play with you and ask you this fancy, cheesy question, man. I want to know your story.
Yeah.
The Rangemo boy, the Wanga boy, the Plumtree High boy.
Yeah.
Tell me what it is, man, from the jump.
Yeah. Basically, what I can tell you about POY is originally, like, my dad used to be a magistrate, so we used to move around the country a lot.
All right.
So I've lived everywhere in Zimbabwe. I've been in Rusape, Harare, Mtare, Wange, Bulawayo. You know, we've been going around the country.
Stop. Guys, can you...
Let's roll again in 3, 2, 1, action.
It's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's still the Culture Clash with your boy Thorne LaRoq, the beast, and I'm chilling right now with your boy POY. My man.
Yeah.
Yo, in case y'all don't know, this is the first award-winning hip-hop artist from the city of Kings and Queens. And this man been doing things ever since, never looked back. Yo, P.
Yeah, what's up?
My man, I'm not going to give you some fancy questions or anything, man. I want to know your story. POY, a boy from Rangemo, a boy from Plumtree High, a boy from Wange. Tell me about POY.
Yeah, basically, POY is a hip-hop artist. My name is POY, meaning proud of you.
One time?
Yeah, I started off as a freestyle artist. I used to do a lot of freestyling, be in rap battles.
All right.
You know, it was all about, it was all about staying on your toes, being able to think on the top of your dome, drop those rhymes, you know, that kind of thing.
Word.
So, like, back in high school, basically, that's when I started getting more serious about hip-hop music. You know, we used to have these talent shows where we used to come up and put up different, like, showcases, you know, in terms of hip-hop and stuff. So that's where I started really honing in on my skills and, you know, becoming a better freestyle artist. Yeah. Then from there, when I came out of school, I hooked up with a cat called Bongani Ndlovu.
All right.
We used to live up in Hillside, so we used to hook up and like weekends and be just working on different stuff. That's when we started working on my first album called 15 Minutes of Fame. At that time, we weren't really like serious about hip hop. We were just trying to experiment and see what kind of sounds would come out or what kind of a product we'd be able to make. This was like long ago, man. This was like maybe like 2001, 1999, around there.
Right. So this
it was a long time ago. Yeah, me and Bongani was just, you know, playing. He was more like the computer head, the graphics head, you know, like his creativity was like light years ahead of a lot of things that you hear now, you know, because he was like that. But we used to work on material, so we did the first album, 15 Minutes of Fame. Yeah. At the time, I remember I was sponsored by Victor Olonga, the rugby player. Yeah, I had a sponsorship deal from Victor Olonga.
Okay.
Everything was taken care of. We put music out. We had our own little cassettes that we were selling in shops.
Word.
You know, so earlier on from the jump, I started seeing the actual business of what music could be because we had a product and we were trying to sell that product. So from an early stage, I already had the mentality to say, you know what, this is a product and we're trying to sell this product and move the product, you know, like with hip hop. But you know, Zimbabwe, the way Zimbabwe is set up, Zimbabwe is like, it's slower than a lot of other countries in understanding the entertainment industry and understanding that entertainment is an industry. You know, like your traditional Zimbabwean setup has always been, don't get into music because that's gonna
be
make you
entertained.
Yes,
by
don't
other
get
people.
it. Don't get into music because you're gonna be a destitute. You're not gonna make money from it. That's always been the mentality because it's not taken as a business and it's not taken that seriously, even from government level all the way coming down to a cultural level.
All right.
You know, that's why you find funding for entertainment and for arts is not as big as funding maybe for other things, you know, like funding for engineering and funding for things like that are actually like way more than funding for entertainment and
Yeah.
for the arts industry.
Yeah.
So you know, like in our country, that's what we're working with right now. And
Okay.
from an earliest stage, like we started already seeing that okay, we need to find ways where we could put ourselves in the arts industry, in the entertainment industry, and still be able to survive. That's why you find like my mentality now. I believe in multiple sources of income.
True that.
You know, I believe in multiple hustles. I believe in multiple grinds. Like I work on a 9 to 5 basis, on a 24-hour basis.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've got like other little side hustles that I'm into. I'm into property. I'm into different things that I'm into, that I'm
You
pushing.
got a clothing line as well.
Yeah,
right?
the clothing line, you know, the realist. All that is because like I believe all these multiple streams of income, they add up to something at the end of the day, because you can't really depend on one hustle.
But doesn't it
it's
kind of hurt you though?
it doesn't it?
Doesn't it kind of hurt you though to have all these hustles feeding your music instead of the other way around?
I feel like it's like even the music itself also feeds into the other hustles, because you find in some of my other hustles, people recognize me and be like, okay, that's POY. Okay, let's do business with him because of the actual music. So it's like that music gives you the relevance, and that relevance then opens up doors for you to do other things. Like I want to really get into motivational speaking, where I'm doing motivational speaking, you know, mentoring the youth and, you know, motivating people on a daily basis through speaking.
Yeah.
You know, speaking and examples and, you know, that kind of thing. So like all this is, it's like it's all interlinked, it's all tied together. It all works together in the end, you know what I mean? So
your word up. Before we get to the end, I want you to walk with me. So fast forward. Bongani Ndlovu, 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
POY.
Yeah.
It's blown up, it's out there.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Like we started working on different albums, started doing different collabos, started working with different artists, you know, and then I got to a stage and a level where I had a sponsorship and an endorsement deal from Arizona Spur.
Yeah.
So with that deal, like they gave me flexibility financially to say, you know what, we're gonna help you and, you know, push whatever it is that you want to push. And at the time I was like, okay, what I want to push is create a platform for Bulawayo artists, especially Bulawayo hip hop artists, to be able to get on and express themselves, and also give themselves a stage whereby they can be discovered and be seen by the public and be seen by consumers. So we created a brand called Bigger Than Hip Hop.
Word.
So Bigger Than Hip Hop, like initially we used to have sessions whereby we would have like a show and put together a show. Different artists would come and perform. Like we started this off, we were working in conjunction with Content Langa from Amakosi Theatres.
All right.
So like that was a very big venue, you know, and we had at the time we were so big at the time where we had companies like Providence Films and Sound would provide us a PA system. You know, Arizona Spur would come in and they'd be sponsoring hampers and vouchers for the artists and transporting us and making sure everything is 100%, you know. Like from that initiative, Bigger Than Hip Hop, a lot of artists that you see today were born from that initiative, because they came in and honed their performance skills, you know, like because of these sessions. Like I'll give you examples, like Awa was one of our artists from Bigger Than Hip Hop. Artists like Mzo7 was one of the artists from Bigger Than Hip Hop. Artists like Asaf used to participate in Bigger Than Hip Hop. All these artists actually benefited from that platform, because when we set that platform up, we wanted a space where hip hop artists could come and perform and express themselves and, you know, really just be able to do their thing without any prejudice or discrimination. Or, you know, because back then there weren't those kind of platforms that were specifically made for hip hop and for hip hop artists and for hip hop music. But with Bigger Than Hip Hop, we managed to achieve a lot, you know, in terms of actually shaking up the industry, and even as far as people in Harare started seeing our movement and started emulating our type of movement, our type of setup, where we had an open stage where, you know, a big number of artists could come on, do a song each, and everyone would have the chance to actually hone their skills and make themselves better artists. And also, it helped in terms of networking. And we had a formula then when we did our setup, because we got to a stage where we were now doing it at Cape to Cairo, which was more like of a club setup.
Yeah.
You know, and with the growth of everything that we were doing, we were learning different lessons. You know, we started finding ways where we would involve like more the ladies, the girls into the music, you know, interacting with the artists and that kind of thing, whereby it really showcased the different elements of hip hop culture. You know, we had graffiti artists like Spinks that would come through and do the graffiti. We had the break dancers like Break Equation that would come through and show the elements of break dance, beatboxers. DJ Mark Vasani would come in and do some DJing there to showcase that level of hip hop. So it was really like a melting pot of hip hop culture with Bigger Than Hip Hop.
Sure.
So like in the journey, I think after Bigger Than Hip Hop, I continued like doing different collabos, collaborated with MC Cheetah, 10 Diamonds, you know, a bunch of different artists that I was working with. I worked with P to the O, the producer. I worked with First Class. And my thing with the hip hop music is like, hip hop is collaborative because you get your MC, you get your producer, you get your beat maker, and you come together and you make a product. You know, it's not one of those genres where I can just pick up a guitar by myself and it's just me. It's always a collaborative kind of energy, you know. So along the way, like growing, we've grown a lot with different people and different people that we've networked. Like even, like I can tell you there's a lot of young artists that I've mentored, you know, that I've mentored. Like I'll name like Young Stan is one of the artists that I've mentored. You know, and when I say mentor, I mean mentor in terms of, besides the music, just life. You know, life. Like a lot of young people need mentors, but they don't have those mentors. They don't have examples of people who are focused and are pushing a particular goal or a particular vision, you know, that they can follow. Most of the youth nowadays are living a life of escape, you know. They're caught up in using drugs, you know, using things like Bronco and the rest of it.
It's crazy because we're losing a lot of arts today.
And drugs, like the drugs, it's like, it's fun when it's happening and when you're doing it, but drugs have a long-term negative effect on your life.
True that.
You know, they have a way of messing with your health. They eventually have a way of messing with your mental capacity as a whole. You know, you get to, sometimes you become slower. You think slower, your memory gets slower.
You know, it's
a lot of things.
It's funny you should bring that up. It's a lot of youngsters that we saw during Bigger Than Hip Hop, the era. Youngsters that was really blowing up on the streets because then it wasn't really about radio, it wasn't about social media. Youngsters were really blowing up, like in Bulawayo, you know, like that's upper class. Wow, those boys are dope. That's so and so, those boys are dope. And a lot of those boys, we lost a lot of those boys to drugs. And I find that mental health is an issue that is very imminent, especially in our society right now. And I'm not talking about societies in planet Earth, I'm talking about Bulawayo. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Africa, I'm talking about Zim. You know? How can we, as creatives, tackle that? Because in as much as you can sit one-on-one with an artist, you have a bigger platform when you are being an artist.
I think the way we can tackle it is like in our music, like when we talk about different aspects and different topics in our music, it has more impact than when we just come out in the streets or I meet up with you and I talk about it. If you hear me saying in my song, like, you know, I'm not gonna be tripping over the scissor. I'd rather just be chilling like I'm a lizard. You know, like you feel it better because you're hearing me like denouncing it in my lyrics. Like, as opposed to me saying, it's a Saturday, I'm tripping on that scissor. You know what I mean? It's kind of different. Like when I glorify the drugs in my music, you know, people buy into me glorifying the drugs in my music.
And it's sad because
when I have it's like we are messengers, but our message is subliminal. Our message is a subliminal message. I may not come out here and say, I represent God. Or come out here and say, I'm a representation of God. Or I'm here in the image of God.
Yeah.
But when you listen to what I'm saying, or when you listen to my music, there's an element of subliminal message in terms of it always comes down to that morality, right or wrong. You know, in the end, our subliminal message is in our music, but it's not so obvious as to chase away our customer and our target market, because the youth is our target market.
Yeah.
When you tell a young person, don't do this particular thing, they're probably going to do the exact thing you told them not to do.
Right.
But at least if you are clever enough to say, don't do it, but you say it indirectly,
Yeah.
you know, they might just listen to what you're saying.
Okay. All right. So check this out, my man. And then there was a break because I saw your collaborations with the 10 Diamonds, and then you took a break.
Yeah.
Only to resurface 2021.
Yeah.
Tell me about that break. What happened in that?
Like I went through some things in my life where I felt uninspired.
Okay.
You know, like I've never been one to force the music. Like I've always felt like the music comes naturally because it's an extension of who I am and how I feel at that particular time.
Word.
So the moment I felt uninspired, you know, like the music wasn't flowing, the music wasn't coming out. You know, we weren't putting singles out, we weren't putting albums out, we weren't working on anything. It's because when you get to a level when you feel uninspired, if you force the music, then it's not real.
It's not real.
You know, people always hear me talking about being the realest, the realest this, the realest that. Like, all I'm saying is be real to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you are real to yourself, then you are real to everyone else.
Yeah.
And then everyone is real to each other.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not real with you, like for instance, like if I don't feel a particular energy, you know, I'm more likely to say, you know what, I'm not feeling that energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I'm in a situation whereby I feel something, I'm real about it. You know, sometimes it's hard for us to express certain things that are like difficult in life.
Okay.
You know, that we go through. Like you can be going through some very difficult circumstances, but being real is for you to be able to come out there and express it.
True.
You know, so that you're being real with it because you're expressing it out there for people to really get and relate to it, because you never know, the circumstance you're going through has been made so that someone else doesn't have to go through that same circumstance that you're going through. Like I keep telling people now, like everything we went through with our generation in hip-hop music in Bulawayo in Zimbabwe was a lesson, so the now generation doesn't have to go through all those difficulties or all those stumbling blocks and all those challenges. Because now you'll find it's easier for a kid to drop a single now and have that single being played on ZFM tomorrow, as opposed to when you try to drop a single and you try to get your single on national radio. It was like a dream for you to have your single get played. And now when you do a music video and your music video's on channel, it's on MTV Base, it's on Trace, it's a possibility.
True that.
You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is like everything we went through and were real enough to express was done so that the now generation and the coming generations don't have to go through that. Like for example, I'll tell you now, like yes, I've been talking about the multiple streams and the hustles and the different grinds and all that, but I still believe that there can be a possibility that eventually, if someone in Bulawayo is doing music, they can buy a house doing music.
All right.
You know what I mean? They can invest in property doing music. You know what I mean? They can buy multiple cars doing music. They can set up other businesses doing music. Because music, especially hip-hop music is $1 billion industry.
Exactly.
Yes. Worldwide, it's $1 billion industry.
So,
like, I'll give you examples now. Like, you look at someone like Casper Nyovest in South Africa. You know, he's out there pulling out Bentleys, pulling out houses, pulling out properties. This is what we'd like to see in Bulawayo. A setup whereby we're hearing that our artists are also pulling out Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, properties. It's a possibility, but it takes a lot to change.
Here's a question though.
From the top coming down.
Is it like a mind state thing, or it's an economical thing?
It's okay. Firstly, in every country, every single country, what governs what happens on the ground is your government. Period.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you do or what I do. What governs it is the government, because the government is the one that's going to put the laws that are controlling the economy.
Okay.
Like I said from the beginning, if we had the same type of funding put into the arts industry and the entertainment industry as is put into mining, then we'd be on the same level.
Yeah.
If you go to a country like Tanzania, where diamond platinum comes from, those guys are millionaires. Because their country is set up in such a way that entertainment is such a big industry and an important industry, and is taken as an as an important industry. They see the importance of it.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to here where it's like, okay, bring out the clowns, bring out the jesters, and the musicians and the hip hop artists are the clowns and the jesters to come and make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
You know, but we're supposed to be the kings.
Yeah.
You know, I hear a lot of king talk in hip hop music, but a king is only a king according to his kingdom.
Yeah.
How much of a kingdom do you have?
Yeah.
What is your kingdom? What do you own?
Do you have a throne?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna take a lot to change, because it's gonna have to change from the top coming down.
All right.
And it's gonna take a lot, because the generation that's at the top is another one. By the time it filters down to the youngins, it's gonna take a lot.
Speaking of generations, the music has changed.
Yeah.
From the first time you jumped into the game until now, the music has changed. Has that affected you as an artist?
Not really. Like I'll tell you something. There's a trick I learned a long time ago. Like when I started doing music, you'll find a lot of the artists that I started rapping with are gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of artists that I started rapping with are gone, but I'm still here. The reason is you evolve with the time.
True.
You keep changing with the time, because if you don't change with the time, you get left behind.
One time.
You see, when you're in the desert and you're an animal, you have to adapt.
One time.
You adapt to the climate. So you keep like when we started doing hip hop, it was more boom bap rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the flows are different. You know, everything was different. Now it's all about trap. It's trapped out. It's different. There's trap flows now, and there's like trap soul now.
Yeah.
You know, there's drill now. There's different kinds of trap now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's all still hip hop. But it's now just the vehicle we're using to get it across.
Yeah.
So the thing with me that keeps me relevant is I change with the time.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like I grow with the time. You know what I mean? Like I switch my flows.
All right.
You know what I mean? I keep switching my flows. Like
You've
if you
been
listen,
switching your
like
flows,
if you
man,
listen
you
to
know?
the first flows I was spitting, like back then, it's a whole different thing to the flows I'm spitting like right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
noticed
the flows I'm spitting now is like, it's different.
Tell me about your current project.
My current project is gonna be fire. We got the summer, you know what I mean? We got the summer covered. I'm working on a brand new single featuring ASAP. It's produced by Larynx.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we're working on that right now. We're in studio. Got a couple of other tracks that are coming up that I'm working on. But I really want to go like I've been dropping a couple of singles from like the project. Like I've been trying to put this project together called The Mad Genius.
The Mad Genius.
Yeah, The Mad Genius.
Right.
It's like with Corona and coronavirus and COVID-19 and everything that's been going on, a lot of people are dealing with like mental health issues.
Yeah.
Not even sometimes like mental health issues, but a lot of us don't feel like ourselves anymore. Like I started feeling like I was going crazy, basically. Like I'm at home, you know, shorties in my face every day. I'm just, you know, it drives you crazy till you get to a point where you feel like you don't feel like yourself anymore. And a lot of people are feeling this, like a lot of people don't feel like themselves anymore, but it's like people are scared to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, like people are scared to talk about certain issues because they're scared of judgment.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, we're affected by social media now so badly, because social media, it's like has a depressing effect on you, because you find you're going through some issues right now in your life. But the moment you switch on your social media, you open your Instagram and you're like, wow, These people are living such a beautiful life, man. Like, wow, man. These people are living such a beautiful life. Ah, wow. Check it out, shorty. You know what I mean? Like, that makes you sort of depressed.
True that.
Because we have got this we now have these new pressures that affect us because of social media now.
Yeah.
It's different. Now, you know, like, things happen instantly.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like so easy for you to do something right now because it's instant. It takes like a click of a finger and it happens.
There's fake images that we need to maintain.
Exactly. So it's kind of it's kind of like a lot of pressure. So that's why I'm saying I'm trying to deal with this whole madness that I feel, you know, because I feel a certain madness. I don't know if it's like a creative madness or it's an actual madness.
Okay.
You know, but I feel that sort of madness. That's why I'm working on the whole Mad Genius project. I think it's like therapy.
Okay.
To therapeutically go through all the different stages of that madness and eventually talk about it, just let it out, you know, because sometimes when you bottle things up, it becomes very different. Like, I won't lie to you, like, I get affected a lot by social media because I go through things in my life where I'm feeling like things are not really going my way, you know, but I switch on social media and I'm like, wow, people are having such a great time, you know what I mean? And it sort of brings you down, you know? You sort of get brought down because you feel like, you know...
You fail.
Yeah, you feel like, whoa, you know? And you know social media, you know...
One time. So two
like
things
that,
I want to talk to you about as well. You managed to engage corporate people from the beginning of your career. And that was like decades ago. And right now, a lot of these young artists are struggling to engage the corporate world. What do you think needs to be done for there to be a relationship between the corporate guys and the arts industry, regardless of what we see about the economy? What can be done between us and the corporate guys? Because there are corporate guys who are thriving here in Zimbabwe. What can be done so that there's a relationship between us? Because the arts...
It's the I think the advantage or the luck that I had was when I first got my first deals, like, you'll find most of the people that were the managers or the marketing executives for those particular companies were hip-hop oriented people.
Okay.
So it was easier for me to break through when my management would say, we've got an artist that can help you tap your product to the streets. You know, they were hip-hop oriented people. So they already understood the culture and understood the impact and the power of the culture. As opposed to now, you'll find you're getting a marketing exec is a guy who just spent 4 years in university being told this is the marketing structure that works according to the books. This is the marketing structure that works according to this and that law. You know, there's no street savviness, there's no connection to what's on the ground. And this guy, boom, he's a marketing executive. You come along and say, I'm the hottest thing in the streets right now. I got 5,000 followers on all my social media. I'm popping. When you say my name, everybody's talking about me. I'm on everybody's phone. You know, that's where you find the difference is that most of these university educated executives don't understand that you need to have the university education as well as a street savvy education, whereby you're able to connect your product to the consumer on the streets. That's where you find where instead of these corporate entities, like, I don't want to name any particular corporate entities, but I'm saying instead of these corporate entities using only a specific genre or specific type of artist to reach out, they could be using the young hip-hop artists that are out there now to reach out to that little niche market. Because you must remember, hip-hop of all the genres is a very progressive genre. Hip-hop has always been progressive.
Yes. Please clarify that.
Like, when I say it's like hip-hop is not just a genre, but it's a lifestyle. That's why we say hip-hop culture, because it's a way of living. You know what I mean? So you find
music.
You find that hip-hop oriented people are very progressive people, meaning obviously they want to associate with the best products out there.
True
They
that.
want to wear the nicest clothes.
Oh,
They want to
yeah.
be wearing the most fashionable things.
Drive the
They want
nicest
to
cars.
exactly. They want to
Yeah.
associate with everything.
Your journey has been crazy, my man.
Yeah.
But you cannot disappear with all this knowledge. I'm happy that you got a project that you're working
Mm-hmm.
on. But from here, the culture clash to the people, my man.
Yeah.
Share some knowledge, man.
Yeah. So like, I think like the biggest thing I can say out there is like, the biggest thing that you can ever have like is just the knowledge of yourself
Knowledge of self.
above everything else.
Yeah.
Because like I've always had this principle, like it's a simple principle. It sounds very simple to someone when you listen to it, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Like I believe that if we have more self-love, it'll allow the rest of the world or everyone to love each other more better.
Yeah.
Because like if you look at it, when you wake up in the morning, right, you're the one who washes your own face.
Yeah.
No one comes and washes your face for you.
Yeah.
You wash your own face.
Yeah.
So the more you're able to take care of yourself,
Yeah.
the more you're able to connect with other people and then give some of yourself to those people.
All right.
You know, so like the knowledge I can give out there is like a lot of people try to find answers or solutions or to try and fill up their emptiness with things that are from without ourselves, from outside of ourselves.
All right.
But what I can tell you is that the true answer is within yourself.
Start with you.
Yes, it starts with you. Your true answer is within yourself. So what I can say is like the only gem I can share with you is like to believe in yourself, you know, and trust yourself, because when you believe in yourself and you trust yourself, it's because you know you'll never let yourself down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So knowledge of self, and knowledge of self has always been a cornerstone of hip hop music from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's about knowledge of self. Each one teach one.
Yeah.
Then we grow as a community.
One time. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Thorne LaRoq, the beast. You checking out the Culture Clash, wrapping it up. This is your boy right here, chilling with your boy POY. What it is, baby. Hip hop to the people.